Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Riley, and in this video I'm going to be talking about kind of a survival challenge my friend talked to me about one time. He kind of brought up this situation where he's like, okay, so say for instance if you were to if you had to walk to the nearest forest or area of woods, or say you were dropped off somewhere and you could only bring three things with you, what would those three things be? And he said he said you're not allowed to have a backpack. He said that, what else did he say? They have to be individual things, like you can't bring a huge crate of food. And he said you have to survive for 48 hours. I know 48 hours isn't a lot of time, but for some people, well, I know for me, 48 hours with only three things, that's a lot of time. Especially when you're sleeping 2 nights out in the woods with only three different things. And so he basically said you can choose three different survival things, but they have to be small enough to where you can carry them. You're not allowed to bring a backpack, and they have to be small enough to either fit in your pocket or to carry. Um, so he's just like, what would you bring and why would you bring it? So let me show you those three things that I would bring. This is just like a minimalist survival challenge, 48-hour challenge, I guess you could call it. So the first thing I would bring is a cold steel machete. Well, any kind of machete, honestly. These are super useful to cut down brush, super useful to cut down, um, like, pretty much any kind of wood. And they're super easy to sharpen. You can literally find a stone or some kind of rock and just sharpen the blade, and it's super easy. I might make a video later, but all you have to do is get a stone and just do a circular motion around the blade, and you can sharpen these bad boys super easy. So this would be helpful for cutting wood, brush. Obviously, if you're out there for 2 days, 48 hours, you might want to make a fire. So cutting firewood, or in a worst case scenario, you could use this for self-defense, which it would be good for self-defense, honestly, if you don't have a gun. Or in our situation, we only have three different things, so I think the machete would be one of my choices. Now, I think it's more versatile than an axe, but that's just my opinion. Some people might want to bring an axe instead, but I've been able to cut wood with this just fine. And it's not like I'm going to be cutting down any trees or anything. So if I was to build a shelter or something, I would definitely need this to cut different types of wood so I could form my shelter. Now the second thing I would bring, since we're not allowed to have any backpacks or any large items in this made-up situation scenario, I would use this. It's a NASA space blanket, and it says here, it reflects 90% of your body heat, and it's water and windproof. So this would be super useful to keep yourself dry and keep yourself warm during the night. And if you I'm not going to take this out right now, but I have another one that I've opened, and when you spread it out, you can actually use this as like a mini tent. So you can either just wrap yourself up in it at night or make a small tent out of it. I personally would probably just use it as a sleeping bag, but this is super useful. It's super small. You could fit this in your pocket, so I would definitely recommend that. So my third thing would be this. This is a water bottle with the built-in filter. So literally all you have to do is go to a stream or some kind of area with semi-fresh water, scoop up the water in here, built-in filtration system that's good for way longer than you'll ever need. Put that in there, screw it in, and then it flips up here so you can just drink it out of it, and it will filter the water. So that's pretty much essential. You know, if you're going to be out there for 48 hours, you need a clean source of water. and this will do a good job at filtering it. Some filters, since we can only have three things, this is kind of a two-in-one because it holds water and it filters water. I was thinking of using a life straw, but then I was like, there's no way to carry the water around unless you made something out there. But I would definitely recommend something like this, where it's a water bottle and a filter combined. And I've used this a lot before in streams and drank water out of there and filtered it with this. Never had any problems. So I just want to review real quick. So we have this to keep ourselves warm and make sure we don't get too cold at night. And maybe even if we wanted to make a tent. And then we have this to filter our water and drink water, because you can go a week without water, but you're going to be in a pretty terrible physical condition if you go that long without, even 2 days without water is a long time. And then, like I said, the machete for cutting wood and stuff. So obviously those are the three things I chose. I don't have anything to make a fire. So, I mean, I have the machete to cut the wood to build a fire, potentially. I just have to start the fire without any matches or a lighter, which I might make a video on pretty soon. It's really not that hard. And other than that, I would definitely say some water source is necessary, some way to filter the water, because it's easy to go 2 days without food, but 2 days without water is pretty dang hard. So, and as for food, I guess I could try to find something out there. This is only a 48-hour challenge, so I think I could go 2 days without food pretty easy. Well, I know I could, but yeah, basically that's it. I would try to find food, try to find edible stuff out there, maybe try to catch something, I don't know. But I want you to leave in the comment section the top 3 things that you would choose. Remember, you can only have 3 things to survive 48 hours in the wilderness or woods with, and assume the environment you're staying in is going to be the closest woods, wilderness, or just open area to where you live. So if you live 40 minutes from like the forest, then that's the closest place, then that's it. But just assume the place you're going to be in is like the closest place to your house. So, and obviously you'd be allowed a jacket if it's really cold or whatever, but nothing more than that. So in this, I guess the purpose of this exercise or this drill is to understand what our most important survival tools would be. That's why I guess we're asking what the top 3 tools would be, because this kind of narrows it down and makes us realize what's most important: staying warm, staying hydrated, stuff like that. So leave a comment and let me know what the top 3 things are that you would choose in order to survive 48 hours in the wilderness would be.